Hi guys, FrostFangs here and welcome back once again, of course, to another Paladins video. We're going to be playing some Torvald today, just going for the normal sort of thing I would go for if I wasn't recording a video. Or I guess a better way to word it for a YouTube video would be that I'm showing off like the meta setup, kind of, because it's the same thing that pretty much everybody runs with Torvald these days. Pretty sure it's been about 2 months since I last covered him. It was right at the end of June, we're at the end of August now, but he's actually had a change since then, which is another reason why I wanted to make this video, because his gauntlet now has better range. It deals full damage at a larger distance, which means it has slightly less drop off. But what I find a little bit more interesting, and I'm sure those of you guys that play a lot of Torvald will as well, is under that note on the actual patch notes on their site they have a little bit called dev commentary, but in that section they specifically say that Torvald is a champion that they're aiming to address over time in a more robust way, so we will be getting more changes, and that this change is intended to improve his quality of life and is part of the changes they intend to implement as time goes on. So it's a piece of a larger puzzle. Hopefully Torvald will be in a better spot by the end of it, but I'm definitely glad to hear that they're making more changes in the future with him, because he's in a bit of a weird spot. He is a hard character to balance, so it is definitely understandable. I'm interested to see where he goes from here, because this change is nice. It definitely makes him feel a little bit better, because I have played a few games with this already, but it definitely isn't enough to change Torvald's position, because it's definitely nice and it is noticeable, but it's definitely not enough to push him up like a tier if you were going to do like a tier list or something. But my setup for him has also changed a little bit, which was the second reason why I'm doing this video. We've still got the speed, we've still got a bit of protection, although I think it's at a higher level than it was before. Pretty sure both these cards are actually a higher level than they used to be in my setup. We then have a nice buff to his health, a tiny bit of a shield regen when we throw out our Q. These two cards, by the way, just heal the person you Q and also speed buff the person you Q, just to give you a bit of a brief description. And then I have a little bit of reset in there, but this one is kind of just a filler card because he doesn't have that many decent ones. If I remember correctly, the setup used to be way more based around the reset, and I just found it to be a little bit too inconsistent, so I ended up switching it to something that relies on it a hell of a lot less, but gives it a little bit of a better buff in some different ways. Pretty sure I also used to have Time Shaper in there, but I ended up taking it out just because I felt like it was throwing people off more than it was actually helping. If you're going to go for casual modes, it isn't really worth grabbing because of the fact that you can throw people off and you can mess up plays, and this way of playing him is just a lot safer. But I should say, if you're playing in higher ranked stuff with more serious games, or you're playing in a party, then this is definitely a really good card to have. But since I mainly play casual and I queue pretty much entirely solo, then I wouldn't really recommend it. Kind of hard to explain, but I'm sure if you've played a bunch of Torvald, you'll know what I'm talking about already, and you don't need my advice. And if you play with a bunch of Torvald as well, you'll surely know what I'm talking about. For the talent, doesn't really matter. Thanks Grandpa's kind of meh, Field Studies kind of meh, Direct Current's kind of meh. To be honest, in my opinion, Torvald is the character that has the worst talents. I can't think of somebody who has three that are all kind of mediocre. It doesn't really make that big of a difference which one you grab. Direct Current, I am seeing quite a bit, and it is kind of useful. I guess in my opinion, Thanks Grandpa is the most useful because it pretty much doubles your shield, but I can't imagine any of these winning or losing you a game. They're just going to make some fights better, some fights worse, depending on which one you grab, which is what pretty much every talent in the game does, but really none of these stand out. It just depends on what you want in each situation, and that's pretty much it for the intro. I'm going to go ahead and queue just for Siege for game one. We've got Siege, Borders Gate, we've got a Cassie, we've got a Zim, both pretty high levels, also with taglines that I don't think I've seen before. I can't remember reading the Untamed, a pro circuit player, also haven't seen very often. Shoutouts to Trex was taken, and also possibly Bappo. I have no idea how else I'd say that name. Torv, anti-flank is crazy janky. Okay, I'll stop. Sorry. Again, another dude trying to guess my titles. Close, but definitely not going for a flank setup here. For the enemy team, up against Evictor, Burst Mode, Tiberius, Predatory Instincts, and Nara, Mother's Grace, Andro, Curse Revolver, and then Genos with Luminary. I think that's a better way for me to read it out, to be honest, because then I can just do both at the same time. We've got Yomi, we've got Half Shell, starting off with Kronos, we've got Impulse, and also Spirit's Chosen. I think with the two that I didn't read out, I'm going to run left here with the Kazi, who I've definitely played with. I recognize that name. Chuck the Q on the Makoa, got my shield kind of bursted. I'm going to try to shield the Mardama, but I couldn't get vision on him. We should be able to get a Nara out. Never mind, she is on like no health. There goes the Andra. There's a Q for the Koa. I guess we should be kind of fine without the Damba. Hello, Anara. I guess you weren't expecting me. She is gone. I'm going to see if I can get a shield to the Cassie. I don't know if she's going to need it. Through a Q on the Zin. He's gone. I'm just going to try and sit on the point. I can't really do very much. Through a Q on the Cassie. Going to try and annoy that Victor so he can't just stand there for free. Well done, Damba, with the stun. There's a shield for him. Probably should have thrown that on the Cassie. Didn't realize she was getting jumped by the Tiberius. Through a Q on the Zin. Damba's getting kind of rushed, although we should actually be able to get rid of him here. One of them's already gone. There's a Q for the Zin. Anara's on no health. There's my F. I'm being grabbed. We should be able to get rid of the Generals, though. Team got rid of the Tiberius as well, and then our Zin died. Just going to save up and get more Kronos, I guess. Anara went for the ult. Don't really know how it was envisioned, but okay, whatever. I don't think I'd have been able to save that Zin anyway. There goes the Ko. I'm just going to jump on this to kind of trigger the overtime, I guess. I'm totally dead because there's like 5 people shooting me, but that is going to be the 0-1. There's a Q for the Cassie. I definitely haven't played Torvald too much on this map, so it feels kind of weird. Honestly, playing Torvald in general feels kind of weird because I don't find myself picking him too often. I used to play him a ton, but ever since he's been in this kind of weird limbo area, I haven't picked him very much. Seems like Anara's trying to go around the side. There's a silence for it. Okay, there's a Q for the Damba. Thank you for the heal. I'm just going to try and juke and delay my death, but I think there's somebody hitting me from behind. I just try my best to fulfill my role of being a supporter. There goes the Damba, or not the Damba, the Makoa. We even shielded him. He still got blasted. Track the Q on the Zin. More heals for the Anara. She's actually nearly gone. Well done. There's another Q for him. We'll pop the F to regen our shield, and there is the defense successful. Game is definitely a bit janky so far. We've all got ults other than the Makoa. I don't actually know when he popped it, but it was a little while ago. He's already got 50%. I don't know what to get for items. Just went ahead and grabbed Cauterize because we only got 2 people with it, and I don't think the Makoa Makoa is going to be doing a great job of applying it because he's a Makoa after all. Tried to get a Q on him, couldn't get the right angle. I threw it on the dam, but instead there goes the Makoa. Nora, I think, went for the ult. He went for the ult. I'm trying to hit him with a shield. Hello, Victor, and also Genos. I mean, I was a good distraction. Sadly, we did get the objective lost. We've been holding it for a little while though. The Victor ulted me and I just died. I also got walled off by the Nara. Bit of a janky game for me overall. I'm going to classify this one more of a warm-up than anything else for me, just because I feel really out of place for some reason. There's another Q for the Makoa. He's going for the ult. I haven't used my ult yet this game, so I haven't really found a good time to. This is a pretty good map to throw people off of, but again, don't have much experience, so placing myself has just been really tough. I'm definitely noticing the extra range. It's kind of nice in some of the fights. There's a Q for the Maldamba. Tried to body block for him a little bit there. It just seems like his teams are going back and forth a lot. We seem to win the team fight really heavily, and then we'd lose one straight afterwards or the other way around. Definitely isn't going to come across in the video, but I don't know, maybe it will. Let me know, I guess, in the comments if this match has felt awkward to you. I don't feel like I've been acting awkward like in real life. I just feel like I've been playing really janky. Don't really know how to explain it. Just tried to silence the Anjo. He unlinked for a second. I'm popping my F even though I was full shield because I'm a complete idiot. There's a Q for the Damba. I'm dead. I got pretty much hit with like a similar combo there again with the Anara ult and then the Victor. We got really heavily wiped there. We didn't kill one of them and we got 5-manned. That was definitely a bit of a rough one. There's some hits for the Tiberius. I did go in to try and save the Zim, but my Q was on cooldown because I threw it over on the Makoa or the Cassie, I can't remember. And of course there is the 2-3. I'm just going to sit back here and throw out some shots and throw out my shield whenever I can. I guess that's kind of my job. Took a Q on the Dam before the self-healer's going for the ult to counter the Andro. Cassie went for the ult. I'm going to jump on the point, silence the Anara for a bit just so she can't do stuff. I reckon we might still be able to get rid of her. She pulled up the wall. I threw a Q on the Makoa. We'll chuck another one on him. I just went ahead and popped the ult, but that didn't really do very much. He went for his as well, just with a Q on him, but if we don't hold this, it is going to be the loss, so it's kind of my only chance to use it. I literally just walked into the Damba ultimate. I think it just cleared my shield, either that or I didn't deal damage. I was just about to silence the Anara, but she went into her CC immunity. Anjo is really low. We got team wiped again, and that is going to be the 2-4. I feel like we held it up at the start. I played awkward the entire thing. Makoa was looking real grim there on the objective. But yeah, like I was just trying to say before I got distracted by the Makoa there, who's still looking a little bit creepy there in the back. Good game. And just dropped there in the chat, imagining having a server. Shoutouts to Wabaduck, like the name. That is the enemy Genos. Holy shit, I did terrible. Kek W. He didn't really do too bad, to be honest. The damage did fine. I can't really complain. I feel like we did okay. 100k shielding, 44k damage. I didn't do crazy. I definitely could have done better, but I didn't do too bad. The Makoa has pretty much the same stat as me, which is kind of interesting. 10% more damage and pretty much 10% more shielding, so props to him for that one. He was going for a shielding Makoa setup. He did pretty decent. I'd say Akasi did alright. Azin did fine. The Genos shredded. Props to him. Tiberius did fine. Definitely could have done a little bit better. Anora was a massive pain in the ass. She did a really good job. Props to her. Same thing with the Victor and the Andro. All of them on their side shredded, other than the Tiberius, who just did okay, but that's still not bad. Alright, well, for game 2, we've got Siege Bazaar. Shoutouts to IVKD. You better say hi back. He's calling you out there in the chat. We've got a Corvus, we've got a Bomb King, and an Eevee. Seemingly also going to have a Zin, which would be fine, or an Atlas. That would also, you know, not be a problem, I guess. Then for the enemy team, up against a Nando, a Strix, a Maven, Io, and a Buck. The Maeve's name is FrostFangs. That sounds like me in an alternate universe. Now that I think about it, it's actually been a while since I've run into somebody who's got like a similar version of my name, or like an alternate version of my name. It used to happen all the time back in like the early days of Paladins, but I haven't actually gone into one in a while. We'll go ahead and grab Thanks Grandpa and the setup. We've got Spreading Influence, Snow Globe, Deja Vu, and Chain Reaction. Then for the enemy team, they've got Ensnare, Rogue's Gambit, Scorch, Unauthorized Use, and Goddess's Blessing. So super standard stuff here all round as far as I can tell, unless I'm missing something. Corvus got jumped. We're getting kind of battered now because we've got no heals. There's a Q on the Atlas before I die. Hit somebody with a rewind. We got kind of bodied there. The Buck singled out the Corvus, pretty much insta-killed him, so we couldn't really do anything to help. I think he was also on the level above us when we were all kind of fighting on the bottom. I shouldn't have jumped down. I don't know why I did. PK went in for the ult right at the end of a round for some reason. Don't really get that one, but yeah, sadly it is the 0-1. Now it is the 1-1. I feel like a lot of this video is just going to be me dying, and then like it cuts to a minute later in game, or like a second later obviously in the cut, and then we're already down a point or we're up a point. It's definitely been a bit of an awkward set of games, but I guess that does represent Torvald kind of well. He's in a bit of an awkward position. That's why they're making changes to hopefully bring him out of that position, but 1-1, we can definitely still recover this one. I don't know why BK ulted right at the end. That was definitely a little bit weird. We do pretty much all have ults up here though, other than the Atlas, who's at like 50%. I'm not really going to be able to do very much with mine because I can't throw anybody off the map, so other than throwing people away, we can't really do all that much. I tried to throw the Nando over the wall, but I don't think I achieved that because he just freaking used his F. There's a Q for the Atlas. The Nando isn't actually dead as far as I know because the Atlas didn't finish him off, so I guess I had to try and chase him to finish him off, but he's still up. I got rid of the Strix instead though, which I'll happily take. Buck tried to jump the Corvus, but he teleported away. BK went for the ult again. There is my F. There is a silence. Cool. We should totally be dead here, right? Because he can't jump away. For some reason it seems like people are permanently freaking low health in this game. Their IO's on like nothing. There's my F. There's a Q for the Atlas. Did he land the rewind? No. There's some more hits for the Nando, as you can see, dealing full 180 at this range. Definitely digging the new updated drop off. Just absolutely blasted the Nando. Cool. There goes Atlas. Sadly, there's a Q onto the Eevee. Just tried to silence him, but I was a little bit too late. Silence on the Maeve instead. Oh, she's totally dead here. Maybe I can shield her up. She's still up. Okay, Maeve is gone. Well done, Eevee. Jesus Christ, what a play. Threw another Q on her. I was running in to throw the Luna, which is annoying. Let's get rid of the Buck. There's the silence. He should totally be dead here, right? He's on like nothing. Q4, the EV again, we tapped him once. Nando's going in with the ult. We can hit him because his friggin' health's at full, so we can get him down close to the meter. There's a Q4. The EV again, I've shielded her loads. More hits into the Nando. He's being thrown over there. I just tried to silence him, but it doesn't matter. There is the objective captured. Q4, the Corvus. I can't believe we managed to pull that one through, but I'm definitely doing a lot better now as a team. I feel like I've stepped up my game a bit as well. Thank you, Maeve, for the free shielding stat. There's a Q on 2 with the Alice. I guess we can push up. Maybe she's going to peek again. No, I guess we can just hit her a little bit. Definitely kind of unnecessary, but whatever. There's a Q for the Alice. He's not going to be able to get through. I did throw a shield on him, but his teleport was a little bit mistimed. There goes the Maeve. We are still making an effort on this push. Did just clear the Luna. BK stacked some bombs, so there goes the Nando. Well bloody done. He went from full to nearly nothing really quick. He's going for the ultimate. We'll throw a shield on him so he can get a little bit further or deal a bit of not extra damage because we don't have that talent. Chuck some shots over there for the IO, dealing 150 at that range again. Really, really nice. I'm liking the change. Fully regen our shield with the F through one on the Atlas. I guess I can go ahead and pop my ult so we can guarantee this. Nando's going to try and jump back on. The momentum carry on that is kind of crazy. Sadly, Luna still is on the point. I'm going to use my F. I'm blind. There's a Q as well. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Shots on the Buck. I'm trying to pull off jukes, but my hitbox is huge. Through a Q on the Atlas. Going to get some more hits into the Buck. I've nearly got my F up again. Thank you for the heals, Corvus. Strix is there at the back. He can hit me, but I can't hit him. That kind of sucks. But yeah, I was definitely kind of surprised I lived for so long was what I was trying to say. I don't know if he's still there. It doesn't matter. My team's pushing up now. We can throw a shield. Had like 2,000 credits when we died. There's a silence for the Nando. He should be dead here unless he's got his shield. He's going for the ultimate instead. He'd actually be dead there, but I guess maybe it's good that we got his ult down because he's dead later and his ult's off. Okay, cool. There is an F. There's a Q again. Kind of surprised it took him that long to kill me, but I'm running back in now. Probably should have bought Master Riding. There's a Q for the Atlas. That is the Maeve going for the ult. I think that's the third time she's gone for it in overtime, or the second time. She's popped it a ton. There is the F. Tried to Q the Corvus, but it was on cooldown again. A little bit too late. There goes the Luna. Not that that's going to make a difference because there is the 2-2. BK did extend the overtime a little bit, but it's a pretty even game. We definitely stepped it up there in the second round. There's a Q for the Corvus. I would have lost my shield to the Strix. We will have ults though, so we should be set. I went for hers. I silenced the Nando just to kind of annoy him. Got his shield out. There's a silence for the Nando, so we can't use his ability. We're definitely having really messy team fights. They did manage to push us off it. We did pretty much get wiped. There's my F and the Q onto the Alice. There's a silence for the Nando. I don't know if we're going to be able to jump back on. That is the EV going for the ult. Nando's going for the ult. I'm pretty sure that's going to stall us until we get there. Oh, is he on it? He missed the jump, but he managed to jump on it. There's my F. There's some more shots. I guess he's being rewound. Okay, there's another Q for him. There's a silence on the Nando. He went out of range. Somehow he still died. There's another Q. Threw a bunch of Qs on the Atlas. I threw another one on the BK, but that's not going to be enough. I'm totally dead. That's 2 flankers and a Strix hitting me. No chance I'm surviving. And there is the 2-3. They only got that one by a little bit. We nearly had that. It's definitely been an interesting game so far. They won round 1 really heavily. We won round 2 pretty heavily, and then that one was pretty much bang even. There is a silence for the Buck. He has a ton of resilience, which is why my ult did nothing earlier. There's a Q. Definitely in a bit of a janky spot here on my own, but there's a silence for the Maeve. Thank you, Corvus, for the heals. There's a Q before I probably die, or maybe we can live. Definitely not looking too good, but we are still up. There goes the Buck. Well done, Corvus. Definitely wasn't looking too good, but we managed to pull through with that one. Corvus barely survived, so did I. I managed to just about get my shield up in time and dodge the Nando. There's a silence onto the Nando. I also shooted the BK. We definitely did a good job of holding it, but they're making a pretty good push now. We held it for the pretty much entire minute there, though, before they even got to the objective. Did a super solid job of holding it for the first minute, and that last section there got a little bit sticky, but we did still get the defense. 3-3. We all saved ults other than the EV and BK, who used it a little bit earlier on, but here we go. We are in the last round. It's been a pretty long game. Game 1 was kind of quick, so it doesn't feel like it's been too long of a video, and I'll probably cut a ton of it out because a lot of it has been a little bit dead. We'll throw a Q on the BK who's running in, Q onto the EV. I feel like the Atlas wall has been kind of nice, but he probably would have been better off going for a different talent just because of how much downtime that one has. There's a right click onto the Maeve. There's a Q onto the Corvus. There goes the Maeve. Well done. He's actually still up, or I spoke a little bit too early there. There is the F. There's a Q onto the BK. Buck pops the ult. The Atlas is still up there. There's a Q for him. EV's also still up in the backline. There's a silence for the Nando, but he's going to go ahead and dodge. Q for the BK. Strix at the back kind of bodied me. Hello, Buck. I don't know why I was trying to shield you. I thought our Atlas was still alive. I feel like I probably should have used my ult, but then again, it probably wouldn't have done very much. But there we go. Ultimates aside, there are these stats. Pretty decent game. I feel like we put up a pretty good fight for it. Sadly, we did get the defeat, but I'll take 150k healing pretty much any day. My damage was also the second highest on my side, which is definitely a little bit worrying. The EV shredded. Props to her. She absolutely shredded there. Shoutouts also to FrostFangs. That sounds really, really weird to say. And also Golden, and also Nox Populi. They guessed my title, but it's definitely wrong because my shooting was not insane. I don't know why this has turned into a thing now. People trying to guess my titles. I'm 100% aware of how predictable and like non-creative my titles are, but that's mainly because I'm terrible at titling videos. Pretty sure I said this ages ago, but I just hate titling videos. I wish I could just title every video stuff and then it would get like the same people watch it regardless of whatever the title was. But on YouTube, they make a huge difference in pretty much anything. You know, titles make a huge difference. That's why they're called titles. But for those of you guys that have been following the channel for a while, you probably know I actually had a series that was just called Stuff, where I would just sit down and talk about stuff. That's where that naming scheme kind of came from, just titling every video stuff, or you can even call that a scheme, just because I didn't really want to have to deal with titling videos. Although if I do stuff videos in the future, I probably won't title all of them stuff the exact same way because I'm pretty sure YouTube doesn't like that. But anyway, for the stats for game 2, that was kind of what I was trying to get to there before I went off on a tangent. The Corvus did super solid. I feel like we did fine. The Alice did okay, but definitely could have done a better job job. Definitely feel a bit weird playing Torvald with a secondary tank. I don't usually have that happen, and today it's happened in both of the games. I think people usually like a secondary tank with Torvald, but for me, I think I do a little bit better with him just being solo, which doesn't even really make sense. Then Evie, like I've already said. Shredded, the Beaker had a bit of a tough time. He was playing a little bit weird there. I reckon if we actually had somebody else on damage, we maybe could have had a win there. Then Maeve did a great job. Shoutouts to FrostFangs once again. The Nando did fine, nothing crazy though. The Buck was a pain in the ass. He did pretty much as good as the Maeve did there. The IO also did a really good job, and then Strix did pretty much fine. I think we could have won that if some of the plays went a little bit differently and a few things were changed. It wasn't a crazy win for them. It was relatively close if you ask me, but Torvald for a little while now has felt kind of awkward to play. I think pretty much all of my videos in like the past year have kind of mentioned Torvald being awkward at least a couple times in them. You know, I used to play him all the time and then he kind of just fell off for me, and I've never really been able to pick him up and feel as natural as I did. I don't know if that's because of the changes he's had or maybe just the changes I've had as a player of the bloody game. Not really sure. It's kind of hard to tell until the changes they talked about in the patch notes end up going through. I'm not really sure what they are just yet, but hopefully they return him to his former glory, at least in my mind. Definitely glad I made an updated video though, so I can show you my updated setup and also kind of get my thoughts out on the weapon, which is more noticeable than you're probably expecting. If you play a lot of Torvald, you probably are enjoying the change. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, of course, let me know what you want to see me do next. I'll see you guys all very, very soon, and as always, stay frosty.